Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode. So, you're complaining about being called out for violating cybersecurity protocols? Right. Doesn't that say more about you? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. So, you're complaining about being called out for violating cybersecurity protocols? Right. Greetings, y'all. It's time for another story from the cybersecurity realm. For those interested in cybersecurity, this may help change your mind. As a reminder, this happened on a military installation, so names, mission types, shoe sizes, and inter-office romances will all be redacted. The cast in order of tree ring growth. Dollar loser, the cause of our story today. Dollar tech, our plucky, cyber operations tech who's afraid of conflict. Dollar supervisor, dollar loser's supervisor whose competency I question. Dollar newbie visor, my awesome supervisor who hasn't been a supervisor for more than a month. Dollar lead, my awesome lead who recently got promoted to captain. It just means he won't get lost as often now. Dollar me, apparently I'm part pitbull, though I'm not much taller than a dachshund. Dollar glue, a can of glue. We had our problem child, dollar loser, today who was needing assistance with one of her machines. She'd contacted our cyber operations team, put in an incident request, surprisingly, and things started going downhill from here. Her description in the incident request was amazingly vague and completely useless for the dollar tech to try and resolve remotely, so he called to find out where her office was located and where in said office she sat. After getting her location, dollar tech makes his way to her problematic computer, and upon his arrival, finds that she's not there. What he does find is much worse. Her office is a very sensitive office, dealing with information that is vital for our pilots. She'd left her desk while leaving her CAC, smart card, plugged into an unlocked machine, and she was nowhere to be found. It's not a very big office, and from dollar loser's desk, you can clearly see who's in this office as well as all the walls. Dollar tech figured he'd give her a break and place her CAC underneath her keyboard. However, when he lifted the keyboard, he found a sticky note with a password written on it. Dollar tech sighed to himself, gathered the CAC, left the office, and sought out his lead and supervisor who subsequently directed him to my office. Dollar tech then spoke to my supervisor and lead, and after some back and forth discussion, decided that dollar loser needed to have a talking to. Dollar newbie visor and dollar lead had initially decided to go handle this themselves, but then decided to send the bald, half-deaf, thick-skinned, oddball from the back of the office, dollar me. Dollar newbie visor gave me clear instructions to be the professional bad guy in dealing with her. I asked for clarification because I can be professional or I can be the bad guy, but I don't know how to do both. I was again reminded to be the professional bad guy. I still don't know what that means. With dollar tech leading the way, we made our way to her office and desk. Dollar tech filled me in on what he encountered and was hoping that we could handle this. We get to her office, my first time there, and I noted that no one there has questioned who we are or why we are there. Everybody there was working in those open-air cubes, meaning that nobody had any walls to block their line of sight to their other co-workers. We make our way to dollar loser's desk and dollar tech shows me the password sticky that's affixed to the bottom of the keyboard. I take dollar loser's CAC, grab the sticky, and dollar tech informs me that he found dollar loser in dollar supervisor's office, with the door shut, mind you. Dollar tech turns to me and asks if he has to be here. He's got an expression on his face that he'd rather be anywhere than here. Given her history of trying to break people to her will, I tell dollar tech to bounce out. Less than 2 minutes later, the door to dollar supervisor's office opens and dollar loser steps out. Seeing me, she asked if I was waiting to speak to dollar supervisor. I replied that I'm actually here to see her and her supervisor, and motioned for the two of us to step back in. I shut the door and proceed to explain that her CAC, unsecured workstation, and password under the keyboard were brought to my attention. I reminded her of the cyber awareness training that we all have to take yearly, those who know what I'm talking about, and asked her if she remembered the parts that stressed not leaving our workstations unsecure, leaving our CAC unattended, and writing passwords down in an easy-to-access area. Dollar loser attempted to pass off the sticky, saying that nobody would know what the password is for, or that it's even a password. I reminded her that leaving passwords out in the open is not only wrong, it's dangerous for the line of work that we do. At this point, dollar supervisor jumped to her defense, demanding to know who I am. In their defense, I did fail to announce who I am and what office I work in. Supervisor thought he could get the upper hand on this conversation by declaring that they had no way of knowing who I was right off the bat and that I could have been a spy. I quickly put him in his place by telling him that nobody out in that office did anything to challenge my presence or what I was doing at her desk. Loser tried to steer the complaint away from her and accuse me of not talking to her professionally and being aggressive, and that, in her words, I was treating her like a killer and a criminal. I told her that I've dealt with killers and criminals and that I'm being nowhere close aggressive to her. I also stressed to both of them that my office takes spillage seriously, and that this is what we have been tasked with handling by our director. I told Loser that if she has any comments, concerns or questions that she could take it up with Supervisor and Lead. Upon hearing Lead's name, her face took on a bit of a smirk and said that she will talk to him. I returned her CAC, but kept the sticky to properly dispose of the password in our office shred bin. Supervisor had bounced out for a meeting, so I filled Lead in on what I found and what was said. And wouldn't you know it, less than 10 minutes after I'd returned to my office, she's ringing the doorbell. Lead gets the door and allows her to vent about her perceived treatment from me, going so far as to say that she didn't like the way I talked to her. Lead paused for a moment and said that in the end it all comes down to her not following the outlined procedures. He went on to say that despite how I allegedly talked to her, everybody in our building is responsible for security, and that it's concerning that her office is taking a rather lax approach to it. Lead then told her that he would talk with Supervisor about their office to determine if an audit is warranted. Loser had the balls to ask Lead if he was going to talk to me about how I handled the situation. Lead had the best response: "No, I sent him up there for a reason, and it got the results I was looking for." Loser thanked Lead for his time and left in a huff. A while later, Lead and I got Supervisor up to speed on everything, and it was determined that no audit will take place, but he will bring up the issue to Supervisor and possibly the director. Some days, this boring job gets to be a bit of fun. Still makes me wish I had disabled her account and forced her to retake the cyber awareness training. Doesn't that say more about you? Every day 2 people at my office are selected to monitor and fix tickets in our priority queue. Yesterday I saw a ticket that I just found bizarre. It was mostly handled by other people. I just saw the user's last message. The user contacted us because she needed help to factory reset her phone. My colleague sent out our standard email asking for the phone's serial number. The email also asks for a contact number and the address of her office, in case we need to send a technician, which we often do with phones since we can't remote them. We need a serial number to make sure it's one of our phones, and not her private phone, since her phone wouldn't be covered by the support. And because if she can't manage to reset it, we can use the serial number to verify that it is her phone, and then reset it remotely. Anyway, she responded with her address and phone number. No serial number. So another colleague sent out another email informing her that we do in fact need the serial number. The email, and the one we sent last time, included a full guide with pictures telling her how to find the serial number. All you need to do is go to Settings, hit General and then About. Then scroll down to Serial Number. Pictures showed her every step of the way. And I have never heard a single complaint that the guide was too complicated or hard to follow. Her response: "I don't understand what you are asking for. I thought I sent you all the information you needed." Yet again, one of my colleagues explained what the serial number is, what it is used for, and how to find it, with pictures. She simply responds that she can't find it. We tell her to go and see her local telephone manager, or whatever the title is in English, and check with them, since they have all the serial numbers available. The user then comes back and gives us her IMEI number. We can't track phones using those, so we clarified that we need a serial number, not an IMEI number. This time she cues the phone manager into the mail conversation, and the phone manager tells us she only has the IMEI numbers, and that she has never heard that phones have serial numbers besides the IMEI. Keeping track of all the serial numbers is literally her job, but oh well. So we now try to inform both of them how the serial number works. And then we get to the last message, the one I was there for. It was from the user, simply saying, "You know what? You can just forget about this ticket. I've tried repeatedly to get you to help me, and you've gotten nowhere, and have been no help at all. Yesterday I caved in and asked my husband for help. It took him all of 3 minutes to fix what you couldn't do in over a week. I really question your competence if this was that hard for you to fix. I just sat there for a bit staring at the message. Lady, doesn't that say more about you? How are we the incompetent ones when you're the one who asked for help for something that you could have solved in 3 minutes? Something we could have solved even faster if you had just provided us the information we asked for. The one you couldn't find no matter how many times we showed you where to find it. I feel like she's the type of person who would struggle to pour water out of a boot even with the instructions written on the heel. I just closed the ticket without a comment and went on with my day. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.